Hey everybody, Chachi Sanchez here, and thank you for doing the voodoo that you do down below. With that said, in today's tutorial, we are going to take steps to bypass EAC and get VorpX working perfectly with the StarCitizen.exe again. All of the links needed will be down in the description below the video. However, the most important link is the VRse Discord channel. This is where I have all the troubleshooting and text chat channels to help support everyone who is having trouble getting it set up and running. Not only that, but I have pinned everything that you need to get the EAC bypass working there, as you can see demonstrated here. So, when you go to my Discord channel, the VRse right here, you're going to verify yourself by hitting the check mark if you already haven't, and then we have the VorpX troubleshooting channel, the Reshade, VR troubleshooting motion bypass or motion touch help, and then the EAC bypass. Go to the EAC bypass channel and then you can click on pinned messages. These are what you want. This is a TLDR from Rifle Jock, who originally discovered the method and helped me get this all together. We have the virtual reality headset resolution page, the FOV database, as well as this link right here, which will let you download the actual text file that I am reading right here. So you click pinned messages, go to jump, and then basically right here you can download this text document that I'm reading off of and you are following along with in the video. That way, if you speak a different language or need to translate something, or just need to have something quick and easy on hand, it's all right here. And then if you have any questions at all, you can type them here. Thank you so much. All right, with that being said, the Discord is the most important resource for you, so be sure to go there and grab anything that you need off of that. Here's the next thing, is disclaimer time. This method for bypassing EAC is used by the Linux community to be able to play Star Citizen at all. These methods are known by the CIG developers and are approved to use by them as well. What we have done is take those methods from the Linux community and slap that onto Windows 10 and 11, and it works perfectly. With all of that in mind, some disclaimers for those that go ahead with this bypass. This is only meant for Star Citizen. You will need to turn this bypass off to play other EAC games. We'll just show you how to do that below. Quick list of EAC games is right here. As you can see, a lot of your favorite titles are running it if you didn't realize it. Apex Legends, we got Battlefield, there is we got Hunt Showdown, Halo, Fortnite, iRacing. So if you are playing any of these other games, you're going to want to turn off the bypass as described below. I will let you know when we get to that point. So with that being said, on to the actual tutorial. Okay, so pre-installs needed for the bypass are going to be Notepad++, and I have the download links here. And then you're going to need to buy and own and install VorpX. So get it from VorpX.com. And then the last URL is just a reference guide to exactly what the Linux community was doing. And with that being said, we are just basically going to be copying these steps right here onto Windows. Now, if anybody, side note here, if anybody is good with scripting, holler at me in the Discord. I'd like to be able to get a script out that does kind of exactly what they do on Linux, that launches this and turns it all on and off at need be only for Star Citizen. That way it's a lot easier to use than having to do it manually by hand. But I don't know how to write scripts, so this is how we do it by hand. All right. Step number 2. Editing the host file. So going to grab our our Windows File Explorer here, and on the C drive in the drivers, system32, etc. folder, you're going to copy, and this is why you want to go to Discord and then download this text document so that you could do this type of stuff very, very easily. All right, in the etc folder, you're going to right click on hosts and open with Notepad++. You're then going to take this next line right here. You're going to right click and copy, and then you're going to paste it at the bottom of this list. That will turn on the bypass. To turn it off, all you need to do is follow the steps right here and put a hashtag at the beginning of this line right here. So it is the bypass is turned on, bypass is turned off. That's all you need to do. When you exit out, it saves it automatically. So edit with Notepad. As you can see, my change is saved when I hit exit with Notepad++. So turning on the bypass now. It is on, saved, double check. See, it is saved. All right. Next, another disclaimer. Anytime the game updates or re-verifies, whether you do that by hand, manually, or through a crash, you are going to need to repeat all of the steps from here below. So do not re-verify the game files upon crash or by hand if you can avoid it. Now, delete the EAC folder from the roaming app data. So this is also, again, why you want to head to the VRse Discord, download this text file so you can just, again, enter. Now we go and delete the EAC folder. So what you're going to want to do is, before you run it, you're going to delete this, and we'll basically remake this folder when you run the bypass itself. All right, so delete that, done. All right, step 4, editing the JSON. So we go to this directory right here, copy, again, handy to go to Discord and download all this. And then we are looking for the settings.json. We're going to open this with Notepad++. Now, any string here that has the ID at the end of it, that is what we're going to be changing. So I tried to make that as simple as possible. We're going to turn all of that into VorpX Workaround. So what that means is this string right here, VorpX EAC Workaround. Next we go to sandbox ID. So every single one of these with an ID, you will then copy this message. Make your life easier by doing this. Paste. All right, client ID. Paste. We got client secret. That is not an ID. Do not do that one. We got deployment ID. Do that one. And then that is all of the IDs. So basically, product ID, sandbox ID, client ID, and deployment ID need to be changed. Once you do that, exit out. This will allow for crash reports to show the error as VorpX EAC Workaround, and this will help identify any and all issues later if need be. Step 5, adding VorpX hook excludes. Any window that runs, or any EXE that runs a window, is going to try to be hooked by VorpX. So we need to make sure that the EAC splash screen doesn't get hooked by VorpX instead of Star Citizen. So we're going to be adding the excludes in the VorpX settings. So we run VorpX. We're going to right click and we're going to go to configure VorpX. We're going to go on the left here. Where is it? Excluded programs. And you're going to click add file. And then from here, you're going to want to drag, and you're going to want to get the SC launcher. So copy and paste that. Star Citizen launcher, click that. Add file. We're going to want the easy anti-cheat EOS setup. Copy that, paste that. All right, that one, EOS setup, bypass that. And then just in case, for some odd reason, the actual Star Citizen launcher wants to hook, I'm gonna copy that. Oh, no, wait, not there. We got to add file. And then the actual RSI launcher.exe. Apply and close. Boom. Now, if anything else tries to open and run while Star Citizen launches on your computer for whatever reason, add that to that exclude list. Okay, and again, any attempts to verify the game file cache through the Star Citizen launcher, if you don't know what I'm talking about, hitting this button right here, any attempts to do that will make you have to do all of those steps again. Okay, so buyer beware, and remember that if you choose to verify after a crash, you're going to have to do it as well. So also whenever the game updates. Okay, start recording. Okay, editor's note here. If you haven't ever run Star Citizen in VR with VorpX before, you're going to need to do a couple of things, like turn off your vertical sync in your game menus. You're going to want to run Star Citizen in a borderless windowed mode. And I'm trying to think of anything else that I missed that I'm not about to go into here. But I'm pretty sure that that's definitely the most important things, is vertical sync off and then borderless windowed mode. And that's pretty much it. All right, thank you. Next. Changes in the actual Star Citizen game that are needed for VR play. So we need to go to the attributes.xml file, and we need to adjust the FOV and the resolution to your headset. Okay. So what we do is we go to live. We want the user, client 0, profiles, default, and then this is where the attributes.txt file is. So with this text file, you're going to want to go to your height and your width and then your FOV. Okay? These are the numbers that we are basically messing with, is those three fields right there. This is all listed alphabetically. So what you're going to want to do is try to use a 4:3 aspect ratio. 1:1 aspect ratios work, but there are UI issues with Star Citizen where the chat is really, really big and, you know, it just doesn't look very good. 16:10 would be next best, but wouldn't recommend anything wider. The resolution and the FOV are the things that you are going to be tweaking the most, besides the VorpX zoom settings, to get the image comfortable on your headset. I started with 2K by 2K and ended up with 2400 by 1800 with 109 FOV for the index as a reference. This allowed for the in-game chat to not be so big and be a bit more out of the way. Next, SC in-game menu settings. And then as we can see, once those are all done, VorpX will just attach to Star Citizen, like you just saw right there. There we go. See, isn't that nice? VR even turned on automatically. And then now the resolution changes hit Star Citizen. Okay. So, first thing you're going to want to do in Star Citizen, we're going to options, game settings. So we scroll all the way down to vehicles, targeting, enable auto zoom on lock target. Turn this to no. And then vehicles, targeting, max auto zoom level, put that down to 0. This is going to be very, very important to turn this off completely. Next, we need to go to the key binding changes for Star Citizen and get them to work in VR. So key bindings for mouse and keyboard, advanced customization. So the first thing we want to do for mouse and keyboard is get rid of any and all flight movement from the mouse. If you use a joystick and HOTAS, if you use a mouse to move and fly, well, then you don't want to remove this. But if you use a joystick, then go to flight movement for mouse. And then I change them to up and down arrows so I can still move around. But you're basically going to want to get rid of the pitch and yaw axes that should be bound to your mouse. After that, the joystick changes is we need to get rid of any and all look axes from your joystick. So go to the joystick, you go to vehicles, view, and then all of this look stuff. If you have anything bound right here, get rid of it. We need to get rid of any and all look stuff that is not our head. Our head should be the only thing doing the head tracking and looking. And then with that being said, that brings us to the head tracking changes. So go to comms, VoIP, and head tracking. What we need to do is go down here, make sure this is set to track IR, head tracking general. And then we need to head tracking general toggle enabled yes. After that, this is user to user here, but you're going to want to go down to each and every single one of these head tracking options, read them very carefully, and then toggle on or off or yes or no or whatever to suit how you are going to play Star Citizen in VR. So for reference, I have a cockpit over there. I sit in it. I want full head tracking while I'm seated. All of this stuff I went through and I checked exactly how I want to play in VR. Having said that, read very carefully. A lot of these sentences are kind of confusing, like disabled. Some of these are enable and some of these are disable. Some of these are toggle. So read these very, very carefully while you're going through them and set them up appropriately to how you play. With that being said, go to Arena Commander and test in offline modes to make sure that your ship and flight controls and FPS controls work well in VR and are each to your liking. Drop by the Discord to ask others what they recommend for visual tweaks, and then hop into the verse and enjoy being a VR citizen. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this tutorial, for doing all the support. Thank you for the voodoo that you do, and I will show you how everything just works. Let's get into the verse. Oh no. All right. So as you can see, well, you can't really see, but I can. And everything looks amazing. Like there's depth, and it's running, and it is fitting on my headset perfectly, and everything is great and works. And I could come out here and just all the textures are popping in VR. I would be able to go and fly, and all of my controls will work perfectly, and it's just a great, lovely sunny day out here in Orison. Okay, folks, and if this has worked properly, you can see what I'm seeing in VR through the Steam VR viewer. I have hit the delete key, which brings up the VorpX menus that you can see in VR, and these are my settings that I am currently using. This is what you're going to be tweaking the most besides the FOV and the resolution in the attributes file in the SC folder itself. This stuff right here, basically tweak to your heart's content to get it to fit your specific headset and view and play style specifically, but here's what I have to give you a baseline to go off of. But all of these you're just going to want to fiddle with and ask other Star Citizen VR users in the VRse Discord what they prefer based on their headset. So yeah, if this has worked, this is really hard to record the way that I have things set up, but if this has worked, then I have shown you basically just that, and I think that should be good. With that being said, we cut back over to... Oh, wait, we don't cut yet. The delete key, again, is how you bring up this menu system in VR, and the middle mouse button is what takes the image from your face and then pushes it out and zooms it so that you could see the corners of your screen. That is called the edge peak feature, which is the edge peak background and lock to horizon and multiplier. All of that is the middle mouse button, which basically just takes the image and moves it back so that you could see everything in the window. And yeah, that's it. Now we cut back. Anyways, this is the EAC VorpX bypass setup tutorial. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and doing the voodoo that you do. And with that being said, till next time, stay safe and fly right. Catch me live on Twitch if you see me. You guys have a good one.